I welcome you all to Banned Book Story Time. You guys ready to tell some stories? Yay! All right, if you want to move a little closer, you can. If you want to see some of the pictures, it is story time today. I am Beth Anz, as I said earlier. I welcome you to our Banned Book Story Time. We are here today to talk about banned books, but more importantly, we are here to celebrate the diverse and imaginative stories and authors who create these books. At UCB, we partner with Foundation 451 and helped us to create our Little Free Library out front. We are part of a network of locations across Brevard County that help people, and especially kids, to have access to these books. We want everyone to be able to read stories they can identify with and to learn about the stories of others. Now, you remember last year, we made some story spiders. You guys remember the story spiders? They're made from just fabric and a keychain. That's it. You can make your own. Now, the story spider was from the story of Anansi, who tricked us, the gods, into sharing the stories with the world. He went up and he got the stories and he brought them down through trickery, and that's how the world got all of their stories. Now, today, like our spider, we're going to celebrate the stories that Anansi brought us. We are reading two children's books. You'll see them over here. We have And Tango Makes Three, and we have Hair Love. Now, we're going to learn a little bit more about these in just a moment. One of these is one of the most banned books in the country, and another one is going to show you how we can remove access for books even if they're not technically banned. Now, the mission of the Little Free Library is to build community by inspiring readers and expanding book access around the world. The mission of Foundation 451 is to get banned and challenged books directly into the hands of students and to heighten awareness of the need for a plurality of ideas, especially in the arts and literature, to build a society that truly honors freedom, justice, and inclusivity. We want young people, especially those who have felt marginalized, to be seen, to be heard, and represented. And that is why our partnership here at UCB is so important for our community. So let's start with the basics. What is a banned book? There are different ways a book is considered banned. Sometimes the book itself will go through a review for a board and is formally banned. And once a book has been banned, many times they don't have a formal process to argue that ban, review it, and reinstate it. Other times, laws are created to restrict what can be taught in public schools, effectively making the book banned for instruction due to its content. Sometimes, since the laws are written really vague, books are removed as a precaution, even without being instructed to. But even when a book is not banned, its ideas and content may not be available. This does not mean all books should be available to all grade levels, but when a book is removed from the age group it is recommended for, it is essentially banned. Now, PEN America, who is a leader in this area, defines a school book ban as following: any action taken against a book based on its content and as a result of parent or community challenges, administrative decisions, or in response to direct or threatened action by lawmakers or other governmental officials that leads to previously accessible books being either completely removed from availability to students or where access to a book is restricted or diminished. Diminished access, they say, is a form of censorship, and it has educational implications that extend beyond a title's removal. So that is the definition for PEN America for what makes a banned book. Now, can a parent ask their child, specifically their child, to not have access to a specific books? Yes, absolutely. And that is one of the ways people can restrict content for their family and their family's needs, but not for other families. In the past few years, there has been an increase in requests for parents or community members to remove books for the whole district and not just their individual child. And that is what we're talking about today. So why is that an issue? As we said, it's about access. Yeah, books are available at bookstores, they're available online, but libraries are free, and they're easily accessible for students who may not have access elsewhere. So not everyone has access to go buy a book. Now, something children can learn about books, like our first one, is that the animal kingdom has many types of families, not just like people. And that brings us to one of our most banned books in the country. This one will be on every list you see almost. And Tango Makes Three. This is the true story of Roy, Silo, and Tango, a male same-sex penguin couple and their adopted penguin chick. Now, same-sex couples are naturally found throughout the animal kingdom, including penguins, dolphins, giraffes, swans, and many, many others. This book was published in 2005, and has received many awards and is also one of the banned books, one of the most banned books across the country. I know, it's so cute too. You're going to love it. Now, challenges to this book have included that the story is unsuitable for young children and has homosexual overtones. Others have said the book is based on one of those subjects that is best discovered by students in another time or place. And some parents have said that it should be placed in a separate section for alternate or non-traditional families. Now, in Florida, this book is routinely banned through HB 1557, which is the 2022 legislation called the Parental Rights Education Law. Opponents have dubbed it the Don't Say Gay Law. It initially prohibits teachers in grades K through 3 from instructing on or discussing sexual orientation and gender identity in the classroom, but that law has expanded after that and has included pre-K through 8th grade now. So we cannot talk about the subject in this book. It was one of the reasons it's challenged. Also, it is also banned through HB 1069, which is 2023 legislation that defines biological sex and limits material that depicts or describes sexual content from schools. So with both of those combined, often books like these, especially those with gender identity, are often taken from shelves. Now, the biggest thing about these, some of them have gained back in this area, allowing some books to be available in libraries, just not in classrooms. But the laws are vague, and that's the big problem. The laws are vague, and that has led to a lot of confusion in the school district. Our second book is called Hair Love. This one is adorable. It is an example of a book that is not often challenged and not directly banned, but due to the vagueness of the laws is sometimes removed. Race, along with gender and sexuality, are common reasons books are removed. We discussed the laws related to gender and sexuality already in Florida. The law most often used to ban this book in Florida is HB 7, known to many as the Stop Woke, and officially called the Individual Freedom Act. Among other things, it prevents teachers from discussing advantages or disadvantages based on race. Discussion of systematic racism is considered critical race theory and is not allowed. Now, Hair Love, this is a story about a girl who wants a special hairdo for a special important day. But when her mom is away, Dad has to step in and help. This book does not specifically mention race, but is a story about styling black hair and therefore can be considered a discussion about race, as it will cause a discussion. So due to the vagueness of the law, books like this are sometimes removed out of an abundance of caution. So let's read a couple books, shall we? You ready for story time? Yay! We're going to start with, like I said, this is one of the most banned books in the country, And Tango Makes Three, by Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell, illustrated by Henry Cole. And look how cute, there's the penguins. All right. So let's start. So I'll show you the first picture. It's a nice little zoo. We're looking at this, I believe the Central Park Zoo. They're going to tell me in a minute. I will show you the picture that I'm going to read. So there is the zoo. You can see the zoo there. In the middle of New York City, there is a great big park called Central Park. Children love to play there. It has a toy boat pond where they can sail their boats. It has a carousel to ride on in the summer and an ice rink to skate on in the winter. Best of all, it has its very own zoo. Every day, families of all kinds go to visit the animals that live there. So let's look at some of the animals. There's some of the animals. Yay! But children and their parents aren't the only families at the zoo. The animals make families of their own. There are red panda and bear families with mothers and fathers and furry red panda bear cubs. There are monkey dads and monkey moms raising monkey babies. There are toad families and toucan families and cotton-top tamarind families too. And the penguin house, there are penguin families. Yeah, just like yours. Every year at the very same time, the girl penguins start noticing the boy penguins. And the boy penguins start noticing the girls. When the right girl and the right boy find each other, they become a couple. And there's some more penguins. There's lots of penguins in here. They're so cute. Two penguins in the penguin house were a little bit different. One was named Roy, and the other was named Silo. So there's Roy and Silo. Roy and Silo were both boys, but they did everything together. They bowed to each other and walked together. They sang to each other, and they swam together. Wherever Roy went, Silo went too. And there's more penguins. Lots of penguins. They didn't spend much time with the girl penguins, and the girl penguins didn't spend much time with them. Instead, Roy and Silo wound around each other. Their keeper, Mr. Gramercy, noticed that the two penguins thought to himself, they must be in love. Roy and Silo watched how the other penguins made a home. So they built a nest of stones for themselves, and every night, Roy and Silo slept there together, just like the other penguin couples. And you can see over there, they're sitting on their little stone nest. But what's going to happen? And every morning, Roy and Silo woke up together. But one day, Roy and Silo saw that the other couples could do something they could not. And you can see the other couples all together. The mama penguin would lay an egg. She and the papa penguin would take turns keeping the egg warm until finally it would hatch, and there would be a baby penguin. Roy and Silo had no egg to sit on. You can see there, they have no egg. Aww. And they had no egg to sit on and keep warm. They had no baby chick to feed and cuddle and love. Their nest was nice, but it was a little empty. One day, Roy found something that looked like the other penguins looked like what the other penguins were hatching, and he brought it to their nest. It was only a rock, but Silo carefully sat on it and sat, still sitting, and sat. When Silo got sleepy, he slept, and when Silo was done sleeping and sitting, he swam, and Roy ate. And Roy sat. Day after day, Silo and Roy sat on the rock. But nothing happened. You can see right there, looking at the rock. One day, Mr. Gramercy got an idea. He found an egg that needed to be cared for, and he brought it to Roy and Silo's nest. So there's the keeper bringing an egg. And guess what happens? Roy and Silo knew just what to do. They moved the egg to the center of their nest, and every day they turned it so that it stayed warm. Some days, Roy sat while Silo went for food. Other days, it was Silo's turn to take care of their egg. They sat in the morning, and they sat at night. They sat through lunchtime and supper. They sat at the beginning of the month. They sat at the end of the month, and they sat all the days in between. They sat and sat and sat and sat. Until one day they heard a sound coming from the egg. Beep, 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 beep. It said, Roy and Silo called back, squawk, squawk, beep, 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 answered the egg. Suddenly, a tiny hole appeared in the egg shell. And then, it's coming. It's so cute. Crack! What? Out came their very own baby. She had fuzzy white feathers and a funny black beak. Now Roy and Silo were fathers. We'll call her Tango, Mr. Gramercy decided, because it takes two to make a tango. Roy and Silo taught Tango how to sing for them when she was hungry. They fed her from her beaks. They snuggled her in her nest at night. Tango was the very first penguin in the zoo to have two daddies. There's little Tango. Nope. There we go. Soon, Tango grew strong enough to leave the nest. Roy and Silo took her for a swim, just like all the other penguin families. And all the children who came to the zoo could see Tango and her two fathers playing in the penguin house with the other penguins. Hooray, Roy! Hooray, Silo! Welcome, Tango, they cheered. There's everybody looking at Tango, taking a swim. At night, the three penguins returned to their nest. There they snuggled together, and like all the other penguins in the penguin house, and all the other animals in the zoo, and all the families in the big city around them, they went to sleep. And then they have a little note at the end telling about how this is a true story. All of the events in the story are true. Roy and Silo are called chin-strap penguins because of the delicate line of black feathers that loops under their beaks, as if to hold a hat in place. After years of living side by side in the Central Park Zoo, they discovered each other in 1998, and they have been a couple ever since. Tango, their only chick, was born from an egg laid by another penguin named Betty and Porky. That couple hatched their own eggs, but they'd never been able to care for more than one at a time. So in 2000, when Betty laid 2 fertile eggs, they decided to give Roy, Silo, and one of those eggs a chance to become a family. And this is at the Central Park Zoo. You can see Tango and her parents splashing around in the penguin house with their friends Nipper, Squawk, Charlie, Wasabi, Pee-wee, and 40 chin-strap penguins in the Central Park Zoo. There are over 10 million chin straps in the world, but there is only one Tango. And that is, and Tango makes 3. Isn't that lovely? Yes. That is a lovely story about a wonderful family and their little baby. Yes. Now here's the other one, Hair Love. And as I said, this one doesn't get right out banned a lot, but because of its content, because of the conversation it could start about hair and about race, it's often put to the side just in case. So this is Hair Love by Matthew A. Cherry. And I'm going to show you if this is a really cute picture. There's a cute picture from Hair Love. And here's another lovely picture. Looking in the mirror at your hair. My name is Zuri, and I have hair that has a mind of its own. It kinks, it coils, and it curls every which way. Daddy tells me it is beautiful, and that makes me proud. I love my hair that lets me be me. In funky braids with beads, I am a princess. And there's the princess. And when my hair is in 2 puffs, I am above the clouds like a superhero. And there's the superhero. My hair even does magic tricks. One day, Rocky and I were playing outside when along came the rain. From large to small, it went presto, just like that. There is nothing my hair can't do. Today, I woke up extra early all by myself. I was too excited to sleep. It is a big day. And there's the hair going poof. There's waking up for our big day. Daddy was still sleeping. Shh, I said to Rocky as we tiptoed past him. Lately, Daddy's been worn out. He makes me breakfast, takes me to school, goes to work, picks me up, and yesterday we went for a bike ride around the park. I think he needs a break. There's tired Daddy and little Rocky. Rocky's the cat. There's the cat right there. Because today is special. I want a perfect hairstyle. This calls for a professional's touch. So you'll see, we're sitting here, looking up hairdos. Then it says, crack! Paws off, Rocky. Rocky's going for the tablet. Daddy heard the crash. Zuri, what on earth? I was only trying to help, I said. Daddy smiled. Can I help too? It'll be a piece of cake, Zuzu. The first style was a big no way. So Daddy's helping. Zuri's not liking the help. No way. The second was no better. No, Daddy. Then Daddy tried sticking my hair into 2 puffs. Ouch! Daddy yelled as he tries to put the ties in. So we're working on the hair. Wait a minute, Daddy said as he reached into the drawer and pulled out a pick. Ta-da! And there's the reaction to ta-da. Daddy, really? I said. I'll be right back, he promised. So we're not thrilled. Now, how's that, he asked, pulling a hat down over my eyes. Daddy, come on, we can do better than that. I think we've all worn a hat sometimes. I really need my hair to be special. Don't worry, he said, we'll figure this out. Then I had a great idea. What's it going to be? Daddy gathered all the tools we needed, and we were set. We're figuring this out. Watching carefully, Daddy combed, parted, oiled, and twisted. He nailed it. Funky puff buns. Pretty, pretty, and so much fun. Rocky approved, too. I put on my superhero cape as the final touch to a perfect look. You can see a superhero over here. We did it. Where's my Zuzu? Mommy called from the door. She could not get in the house fast enough. Mommy, you've got to be the prettiest Supergirl I have ever seen, she said. And there's Mom. And your hair is beautiful, Zuri. Who did it? I looked at Daddy and beamed. Mommy smiled. Very nice. Thank you. We learned from the best, Daddy said as he gave her a big hug. My hair is Mommy, Daddy, and me. It is hair love. The end. Yes. Aren't those cute? Yeah. So, according to Foundation 451, some of the books that have been banned in Brevard County include, as we said, Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut, The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, The Bluest Eyes by Toni Morrison, Genderqueer by Kababe, All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, and the graphic adaptation of Anne Frank's diary by Fulm and Polonsky. Now, some of these have since been reinstated and reviewed, but at one point they were banned, and we have a long way to go. These are small victories. We have a long way to go. So what can we do? First, we can help inform others about banned books and the importance of having access to diverse stories. You can support people providing that access to these books, like Foundation 451, who have a network of libraries and churches and local shops. You can support those places, tell people about those places, encourage others to share those. You can also build your own little free library. Did you know that? In your yard or in any place of business, and you can stock it with books. So little free libraries are all over the place. They can be anywhere. You can attend board meetings. You can sign up to speak, and you can share your information online. And you can vote. You can vote and support those who maintain access to those books. I hope you've all learned the importance of sharing our stories, and we'll, like our story spider, continue to share these stories with the world. Because here at UCB, we want to create a space for everyone's stories to be shared. Thank you all very much. I hope you learned about the awesome books that are available and why we should support these authors. So thank you all very much.